Welcome to Game Savers Podcast, your next-gen gaming podcast for news, reviews, previews, impressions, analyses, and roundtable discussions involving past, present, and future games. My name is Tony, and today I'm joined by Wayne and Alex. And boys, have we got some banter to go over here from the past couple weeks. So
yeah.
let's catch up on whatever the hell is going on out here. I guess first thing to talk about, most pressing, would probably be what on earth is going on over there at GameStop, Reddit, Wall Street, and everything in between. Just what an incredible saga, man.
Yeah, thank you, Reddit. Thank you for bringing this to us.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I was saying to someone recently, they were telling me that there's a movie in the writing already about this, and I thought that's pretty crazy because we haven't had a Robin Hood movie in quite some time. So
it's fast.
Yeah, interesting. It's insane. You guys, I mean, do you understand it to start with? Because
I can't say. Oh, go ahead.
I'll be completely honest. A certain amount of it goes over my head. But I've been watching a few YouTube videos and reading articles and trying to get an understanding of exactly how the thing happens. And my understanding of it is that these greedy people at Wall Street occasionally will target a business which is about to go down the tubes.
Mm-hmm.
And when they see it
and
go
in this
down the
case,
tubes,
that is GameStop.
It is GameStop. And when they see that it's about to go down the tubes, there is a way of selling stocks called short selling, where basically you borrow the stocks before they drop in price and then wait for them to drop in price. And then you kind of give them back and buy them at the dropped price. Now that may not make sense. And it doesn't entirely make sense to me, but it's along those
we're not
lines.
the most financially illiterate people in the entire world.
Yeah,
so
I don't know anything about this. So
not only are the stocks dropping because GameStop aren't doing particularly well, but this short selling actually sinks the stocks even further. So
correct.
It's basically people betting on a company failing, and they're making money from a company failing. That straight off the bat to me is just that has to be immoral. I mean, that is not a good way to do business or to make money.
And then came along a Reddit thread by the name of Wall Street Bets, where that changed everything and said, actually, let's increase the price of this stock, share, whatever you want to call it, and make it, much more difficult and cause a loss for these hedge fund people that are, making these bets on the company losing, right? And it was just such a beautiful thing to see. I mean, I like to think of, at least halfway financially literate and understand Reddit pretty well too. And I don't think anybody could have seen this coming from 10 miles away. Just such a cool thing for the community, and really just a shocker for even those that aren't part of, gaming or anything like that. It's just, it's a fun thing to see, if nothing else.
Some of the memes that came out of it were absolutely fantastic.
Oh yeah,
absolutely brilliant. There was some good Family Guy ones and different things. And
have you seen the Saturday Night Live skit that they made?
Yes,
it's just hilarious. So yeah, probably own GameStop now. Okay.
I thought 2020 was going to be good. Like, that had to have been peak meme, but so far we're a month into 2021 and it's just not slowing down. So the meme economy is, all in right now.
The meme economy.
But yeah,
but it's just so funny to see. Like, it started out 25th of January at $77, went up to, what was it again? Give me a sec here.
Got up towards 500, I believe.
Almost 500, and now it's down to around 100 again. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so the entire saga was about 2 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
Back to normal, but wow, wouldn't be surprised to see something along the lines of this happen again in the future. Don't know where, don't know when, but we'll see what Reddit does. So
CD Projekt Red.
Shots fired.
Touchy subject.
Look, since we're talking about CD Projekt Red, Cyberpunk 77, everyone's favorite game, there's been a new patch out. I don't know if you catch this, guys. It's patch 1.10 now, and the changes are basically non-existent.
I heard it made the game worse in some instances.
Yeah.
How the hell is that even possible?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Well, there is this one mission where you're supposed to be called by one character. I'm not going to spoil who it is in case someone is still playing it. But after this patch, this phone call isn't triggered anymore. And CD Projekt Red basically had to go ahead and release like a workaround how to trigger the phone call.
Way to go. I mean,
Yeah, way to go.
It's never ending. It's still on hold for me. I'm still hopeful for the game. I'm not going to
Yeah.
refund it, and I'm just going to hope things, fix themselves out so that saga continues too.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. The joys of recording virtually. Yeah, we're just
Yeah,
we're
I
all
know.
going to sit here in awkward silence for a minute.
And we're just sitting here like don't want to interrupt each other.
What are you guys playing lately? There's a lot of things that have come out since we last had a little banter session like this, but I know we're plowing through a ton of different games right now this time of year. There's not a lot coming out, but there's a ton of time to get caught up on the backlog. So what are you trucking through?
I am still chipping away at Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Jesus Christ.
I've talked about it enough, so everyone who has watched the podcast knows that I'm not entirely enamored by this game.
Do we want a review from Wayne on this game, ladies and gentlemen? Let us know. Sound off.
It'll just be a 45-minute rant. That really won't.
Well, I would listen to that.
Yeah. As well as that, after our Resident Evil 4 special podcast where we went deep into the Resident Evil lore and talked about that game quite a bit. Before that, I'd made a good start on the game, and I'm still playing away at that. I want to get Resident Evil 4 finished. And last but not least, everyone knows that I love my Lego games, and one on the backlog was Lego Incredibles.
Okay.
We've been playing that, and it's not bad.
Are you playing it because you enjoy it, or are you playing these Lego games for the achievements, Brother Wayne?
It's both. It's both. And I used to do that, but I'd never play a game just for achievements anymore.
Fair enough.
We do enjoy them. It's good fun, and it's a little bit shorter than most of the Lego games, which is a welcome thing because sometimes, don't know if you've played these Lego games, but within the open world, I've seen up to like 450 collectibles in the open map, and it can be tough to work through. This one's considerably smaller and considerably shorter.
Alex, what are you playing over there?
Welcome.
Oh, I'm sorry, I just got way off. So
here we go again.
So
yeah. Josh recording virtually. Perfect. So yeah, I am also playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla. As I mentioned before, I probably enjoy it a little bit more than Wayne actually does because I like the mechanics, I like the world. But I'm at the point right now where I'm feeling a little bit fatigued of the game because it's too much of everything. There are too many side quests. The storylines are too drawn out. They don't connect to each other. So I'm just putting this on the back burner for now. Started, what was it called again? Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Played this with my roommate. Great game. Really, really uncomplicated arcade action. And of course, the Medium. I started the Medium because I was looking forward to this game.
The Medium, yes.
Yes.
Do tell.
Yeah, well, it's basically Silent Hill. It really is.
Really?
Yeah. The whole vibe, the way all the environments look and feel are very, very Silent Hill-esque. This game received a little bit of flack when it came out, but I think it's completely not true. It's a good game in my opinion. I love it.
Good to hear. Gosh, the Medium. I started it a little bit. I haven't got too far into it though. It's free on Game Pass too. So, it's worth checking out to go out there and form your opinion on that. But it is free on Game Pass, right?
It is free.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I think the flack that game's getting, and I've said this before on here, I think it's right down to expectations. I think the expectations were set high. Like, I think a lot of people thought this was going to be like, the first big Xbox exclusive, and it was like a big AAA game, and it was going to be, like a full-blown Resident Evil game or something. And it's just, it's not that game. It's got to be treated as what it is, and it is a small studio from Poland that are slowly growing and getting a bit more
steam.
Just bigger, slightly bigger projects. I really hope that this one takes off for them. It was announced, I think, something like 2 or 3 days after it came out. It was announced that this has made its development costs back already.
Yeah, so that's a good thing.
It's a financial success straight off the bat, and I'm happy to hear that. So
even being free on Game Pass, I mean, to make their money back that quick, that model, and I'm not sure the details of it, and I'm not going to pretend to either, but that's incredible to think a game can already make profit like that and be free on Game Pass at the same time within the same week.
Insane.
And on a console which is in limited supply. There's a lot of people out there that want an Xbox. This isn't on Xbox One X or Xbox One S or the older consoles. It's just
only on the
consoles.
series.
So they're limited to that not fan base, but that the amount of people that have bought that console.
Hmm.
And then they're limited again. Well, not necessarily limited, but I don't know if many people would buy this game. It is available to purchase, even though it's on Game
Well,
Pass.
from the impression that I have, at least from the people that I know who have like an Xbox Series X or Xbox Series S, at least most of the people tried this game, so they gave it a shot.
Yeah.
And what I heard from people around me, my friends, like everyone that I talked to really started to enjoy it. It has like a little bit of a slow beginning, but
Mhm.
once it sets off, like it goes off, maybe 1 hour into the game, it really pulls you in.
I'm looking
Good
forward
to
to it.
hear.
It's next on my list. As soon as I get one of my games cleared off,
Yeah.
that'll be straight onto the.
Well,
There's-
there's a reason I haven't finished the medium yet, and that's because the games I'm trucking through, if you know anything about me, I'm the opposite of Wayne in the sense that I can't play 1 or 2 games at a time. I have to play like 8. And right now it's just full firing on all cylinders on everything. On PC, still playing a lot of Warzone, some Phasmophobia at night, things like that, which is a great horror 4-player co-op game, by the way. Over there on the PlayStation, I'm going back and finally playing Days Gone. I put it off for like 2 years because it was kind of rough at launch. So I'm finally playing that now that that's got the 60 frames 4K update as well. So I'm trying to play through Days Gone. Loving it so far. I can't believe I missed it early, but whatever. Over there on the Switch, tearing through Age of Calamity and Pikmin 3. Still, just been enjoying those games. They've been a blast. Love the Warriors series and things like that. So again, Hyrule Warriors is hitting the mark for me. And over there on the Xbox, the medium. Thinking about going back and giving Control another shot, but it just, it's one of those games where it's great. It definitely rings well as a good video game, but it's just not for me as far as the story goes. So
Yeah.
Funny enough, my girlfriend, she played about the first 5 hours of Control, wasn't overly fussed, and kind of went and played a bunch of other things. But then she went back to it, and after another few hours, that just sort of clicked and fell into place. So she is enjoying it now. I think it might be a bit of a, like the medium, a bit of a slow burn at the start and just takes a while to get going. But I know some other people weren't keen on it based on the fact that, I mean, the whole game is set within a building. I think a lot of people were kind of put off by that. They wanted a bit more variety in their locations and that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, what I can say about the game, I finished it when it came out, and I think it's one of the better games of the last generation. And also, I'm a pretty big Remedy Games fanboy, so of course I had to get it. Even though it's just set within one building, don't let that fool you. There's enough variety there, and
it's a big ass building.
it is a big, it is a big ass, ever moving and ever slightly transforming building. So if you haven't played it yet, give it a go. It's free on PlayStation Plus at the moment, and I think this is probably something I can talk about now too.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Control, how about the little bit of controversy going on over there, Alex? Some different models there for sure.
Yeah. Well, this game it came out yesterday, I think, for the next gen consoles. So for the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S, and the PlayStation 5. And of course, there were people who pre-ordered the game. It was some instances it was a little bit discounted, but people pre-ordered it. But then just Sony went ahead, it's gonna be free on PlayStation Plus, and everyone was like, geez, the game is not even out yet. So I paid money for a game that I would gotten free anyway.
More reasons not to pre-order in 2021, ladies and gentlemen. Don't do it. It's a
trap. You're talking my language, Tony.
Never again. Will not be burned. So yeah, that's tough. That's some shady business there. Geez, and I don't know who that blame falls on, but it's never a good thing to see as someone that pays money and then you see just a few days later it's free. Gosh.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's such a dick move on Remedy's behalf, and I just like how can these guys not see this coming? How can I not predict that there's going to be a backlash when they make those sort of decisions? It's baffling. There's got to be someone in the room going, guys, people aren't going to be happy if we do this.
There's got to be some humanitarian sitting on that board like, you know what? We've got fans. God, they're probably going to be pissed if we do this.
Or is it just a matter? It's either
but money.
It's either incompetence or just not caring, and I don't know which one's worse.
I think it's just like sheer ignorance. Look, I have a theory about this because Remedy in the past they didn't do stuff like this at all. This is the first game that's not published by Microsoft for ever since I think Alan Wake came out. It's published by 505 Games. I don't know for sure. I don't have any insights there, but it could be that this is maybe like a publisher thing, because if we
You know, you're absolutely right, and I retract my pop at Remedy. It's absolutely it is always the publisher when it comes to these sort of decisions. The guys that are creating textures and level designers and stuff are
Yeah, yeah.
absolutely nothing to do with this sort of decision making. But still,
I mean,
Hey, speaking of people,
Hmm?
oh, good.
yeah,
No,
sorry.
no, good.
So just think about the way this Ultimate Edition has been announced. So the game was available last gen, and then they announced the Ultimate Edition, and all the people who bought the game were like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get like a free next gen upgrade. But yeah, 505 was like, no, it's gonna be $40 if you want to play it.
and it was around about the same time that so many other games were getting announced as, if you buy this now, you get your next gen version for free.
Yeah.
And then they just completely went against the grain on that. And they got a bit of backlash against that. I think people are going to have a slightly negative opinion of Remedy /505 games after
Yeah.
a few of these tough decisions that they're making.
Well, hey, speaking of negative opinions, and I don't want to go down this like super fucking toxic. I don't want to go down this super fucking toxic wormhole right now. But I guess while we're on this subject, so our dear friends at Microsoft thought they would push the envelope once again and try to increase the price of Xbox Live from $60 in one calendar year to $120, doubling it in 1 year. Man, just what a stupid idea. I mean, man, we're in the middle of a pandemic. Cash isn't exactly something that's readily available at this point, even though we did buy up a shit ton of PS5s and Xbox Series X, but that's a different conversation. I mean, just to go out there and double it like that for essentially the same services. It's not like they announced this alongside some crazy improvements or anything. It's like, here's the same value you already have, we're just going to double the price. Not take it up a notch, not an incremental increase. We're gonna fucking double it. And rightfully so, people are pissed about that, man.
When I first seen that kick up, I seen the articles saying that Xbox Live's gone up in price, and it was like, okay, fair enough. Things go up in price. That's
yeah. You see it with Netflix works, every month, right?
Yeah,
every month, of course.
Every month, Netflix.
And I kind of thought, this is the usual. This is the whole let's get angry about something that's not worth getting angry about. And then I seen one of the comments and someone saying that it's actually doubled in price, and I was thinking, no, I couldn't have doubled in price. And then I went
same. I was in the same boat. I thought it was a joke.
I was sitting going,
yeah. Like I thought it would be like €1 or €2 per month or something, or $1 or $2 per month, but it's like went up from what was it, 60 to 120?
Yeah.
Come on.
Now and it's all over the place because the price increases. If you pay monthly, it only actually goes up $12 a year, because the monthly price only went up by $1. But yet if you went, I don't think they even do yearly anymore. So it's 6 months, and you had to buy 6 months at $60 each, which is where the 120 figure's coming from.
Jesus.
And it's astoundingly ignorant. I couldn't believe that they attempted to pull that off. Now, I've got a theory about this. I don't think this was an Xbox decision. I think this was a Microsoft decision. Now, Microsoft have all sorts of subscription stuff, like specific to, the Azure servers, Windows as a service, all sorts of things, Office 365, multiple things. And I think someone who is in their subscription department had a look and saying, hold on a minute, this hasn't went up in price since, when was it? Was it 2010? The last Xbox Live Gold price increase?
Yeah, I think so.
So I think they've seen that and they've went, hold on a minute, this should have been going up in price gradually over the years. Let's just bump it right up. And I think that was the Microsoft department. And then I think Xbox, the likes of, Phil Spencer, has, it's just went out without even their knowledge. And that's when they jumped in and was like, no, you can't do this. And to be fair to them, like there's so many companies when they make mistakes, like 505, that criticism about the way they release Control.
Yeah.
They didn't kind of go, okay, we'll get it. You're angry. We've made a mistake.
They just shoved it down your throat and said,
they're just like,
this
now
is
we're
what you
doing
get.
this because
Yeah.
we're at least
just
Xbox
sold it for this price.
At least Xbox stopped and went, oh God, everyone's freaking out on Twitter again.
So yeah, speaking of Twitter, So speaking of Twitter, it was Phil Spencer that came out. I think it was within 24 hours.
Yeah,
If not the next day, it was pretty close. It was
It
a
was
quick turnaround.
12 hours. It was within
12
12
hours.
hours,
That's all
all
it
right.
lasted.
Yeah.
God. But he came out and he said, apologize. This is Phil Spencer here. He came out and said, apologies for the angst and emotion this caused today for our customers. As always, we appreciate the feedback. This is a good learning opportunity for us, and we will continue to learn for it. Whatever, Phil. And,
like, come on. Seriously, I think Phil Spencer is probably the best thing that Microsoft had going for the Xbox. Like, he turned his ship so much around. Just think back, Don Metric. Oh yeah, we have a product for people who can't go online. It's called the Xbox 360. Remember this one?
Right.
So this is like far, far behind. But here's the thing. I have another theory what this could have been, because Microsoft is pretty much focused on Game Pass subscriptions, Game Pass Ultimate, and it's not that much more expensive. This is what they lead in everything at the moment. Oh yeah, we have so many subscribers. Game Pass is doing well,
Yes.
and I mean, this is just a theory, and I have nothing to back this up. But to me, it feels a little bit like, yeah, if we increase the price for Xbox Live Gold, we push more people towards the Game Pass and like make our service bigger.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, you see Microsoft expanding, now they're on Steam, you see them on PC everywhere, PC, Windows, you see, just the expansion of Xbox Live in general.
Yeah.
And, obviously they got to support that. And personally, I think it's right that they increase the price, but I don't think the timing was right. I don't think the way they did it was right. And I certainly don't think the amount they did it for was right.
Yeah.
On the bright side, I mean, if I'm Nintendo or Sony right now and I see Microsoft do that, I'm like, whew, fuck. Well, I guess we know not to ever do that in the future because, I mean, man, it's just, I don't know. That's tough, especially when you look at the landscape and you look at, what Sony's bringing to the table. And that's your direct competitor in that sense. And you have the nerve to go out without any major, pending first party titles other than Halo Infinite. We don't have a whole lot out there on the horizon, but you're going to come out and hit us with, here's a 200% increase. It's just so tough to justify. I think it's right that they try to increase the price. Obviously they got to support it, but the way they did it was just not the best.
Well, in the end, it turned out to be a little bit of a boon for anyone who is focused on free-to-play games, because going forward, free-to-play games won't need Xbox Gold.
Thank God, finally.
So if you've got kids that literally just have an Xbox and do nothing but play Fortnite with their friends, you've just saved $60 a year.
What a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Hey, good news. Today, right before we hopped on here, actually, the Mass Effect trilogy trailer dropped, the second one, and gave us a little bit better of a glimpse into when we can expect that bad boy in 2021. What's the release date, gentlemen?
It's the 14th of May. It's exactly 1 week after Resident Evil Village.
Woo!
So it's going to be pretty busy May, right?
Yeah. Wow.
It's going to be a pretty Resident Evil May. I won't be playing Mass Effect at launch. I'll tell you why, because I made this mistake before, and I think I've told you about it. 1 month before Mass Andromeda came out, Zelda Breath of the Wild came out.
Ooh, bad timing.
And I rushed through Breath of the Wild in order to have it finished whenever Andromeda came out. And that was one of the biggest mistakes in my gaming career. I mean, I really should have savored Breath of the Wild and just left Andromeda potentially to never be played.
Shame on you.
Yeah, but look, I understand. Like, I'm also like a pretty big Mass Effect fan, and I feel like I have to say this about every game that I'm a big fan, but that's just how I am. Like, I like video games. I like a lot of video games. So,
have you seen the changes they're making to Mass Effect for this remastered edition?
Love it.
I mean, that's what I've been talking about. You've been asking me, am I hyped for it? And I've always been saying it depends what they do with it. If it's just here's the 3 games stuck on a CD, Mario style, then I wouldn't have been particularly psyched. They've come out and they've said that the first one, of course, it'll get 4K resolution, 60 frames per second on the next gen consoles.
That's like tripling the frame rate, right?
It's just beautiful.
But the camera's going to be fixed in ME1 to more reflect the second and third game. The controls are going to be smoothed out. They're updating the Mako levels, which is the awkward, clumsy vehicle missions within the game. They're going to be resolved. They're going to change the aiming on certain things to make it so much easier and better to play. they're actually using AI. A lot of the times when they do these remasters, they go back and they tend to have like high res textures left
Right.
over that were
It's like
kind
manual coding all over the
of
place.
downscaled
And
Yeah,
for
yeah.
360. They're using, I was going to say AI, but I'll be strict about it. It's actually machine learning to create better resolution textures for the game to
how
make
cool
it
is
way
that?
better. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
one of the shots they showed of Thane, the like green lizard type guy. It showed you the before and after. And whenever it was showing you the before shot, I'm actually thinking that still stands up. That still looks pretty damn good
Yeah.
by
Yeah,
today's
definitely.
standards.
Definitely.
And then they show the modern version of it with the new textures, and yeah, that looks fantastic. Looks absolutely gorgeous.
It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. I need to budget 100 hours in May just for gaming, and it's going to be tough. But
I
yeah, I mean, gosh,
I think it's actually a lot more than that whenever you think about it. I reckon with all three games, with all the DLCs for all the games, I think you could be pushing 200 hours to complete
Yeah.
all that. you
God
know?
Just the
almighty.
first one is really big. Like when I
Yeah.
think back at the first game, probably just put 60, 70 hours into it because I wanted to fly to every planet and experience everything that the game has.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
This is coming with all 40 bits of DLC too, right? That's
They,
Yes,
insane.
they
exactly.
said that number 40
I don't remember
DLC.
there
I
being
mean,
40 pieces
there
of
was-
DLC,
I
maybe
think
like skins and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
there
there's
were-
definitely
there were.
skins and stuff.
Like when just Mass Effect 2, it had like a ton of DLC, smaller story DLCs. There were at least maybe 15, 20 for just Mass Effect 2.
Really?
Yeah, I
That's
actually
crazy.
remember one that was like it was a vehicle based one, and you're on like
Yep.
a lava. It was almost like Mustafar from Star Wars.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best, but at the time I was so enamored with Mass Effect 2 that I was just like, anything extra, anything new, and I'm on board. I will play it.
Yeah.
One of the other things that've made a change, the FemShep that we're sort of familiar with, the female version of Commander Shepard, they changed how she looked through the three games, whereas the male Commander Shepard kind of looks the same throughout it.
Could
Well,
we
they've
play female Commander Shepard in the first game?
Yeah,
I can't
we
remember.
could.
we?
Yeah,
We could.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
But it kind of it looked different than each one. It was almost like the fully hadn't really committed to it, and felt like an afterthought to a degree. Well, they've taken the design from Mass Effect 3 and they've used that across the whole franchise, so that if you're playing all three games as FemShep, it feels a wee bit more coherent and it'll feel like you're playing the same character through them. Did any of you guys ever play FemShep?
I didn't play the female Shepherd, but I will say the only time I really go to play a female protagonist is when it's like required, or in Assassin's Creed, because I think they've done a really good job over there at UB. I forget her name. I think it's Cassandra or something like that from Odyssey. Was so much better than the male voice actor character as a whole.
Exactly.
She was great. So I mean, I don't usually jump the over to the female protagonist side that often, but that's one of the few times where I definitely do, and it's totally worth it.
So what do you reckon? Do you think this will pick this up? Is it a day one purchase? Is it at some stage?
Definitely.
Well, I don't want to contradict myself on that big pre-order word, but geez.
But here's the thing: pre-ordering is not buying day one. It's not the
Yeah.
same, right?
That's a good point.
Definitely.
Well, now you see what.
I think I'll hold off, and don't get me wrong, it looks great. I definitely want to play it at some stage. It's the time commitment. I have a lot of games that I haven't played that I want to play. I think games that, like you already mentioned, Tony, stuff like Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, Prey, loads of games in the backlog that I'm busting to play.
We got 3 months, Brother Wayne. We got 3
I
months to
won't-
clear that backlog.
I won't be jumping on it straight away.
Get going now. Ditch Assassin's Creed, play everything else.
That's
But
right.
there's so much going on in my life, Tony. Going outside and going to concerts and holidays and all that.
Right, yeah, because that's totally a thing right now in the COVID era.
I'm also going on tour next week, and then I'm not home for 3 weeks. So
Amazing.
I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but every time I talk about Mass Effect, I have to say it. Read the books. Do read the books, especially the very first one. It's set before the first Mass Effect game, and it sets it up like nothing else. I haven't read anything else. Like I read the Spider-Man prequel book before playing the game, and they've like virtually nothing to do with each other. Whereas the first Mass Effect book, it is brilliant. You will arrive on the Citadel and you'll go like, oh my god, this is the Citadel that I've already read so much about. And you'll meet certain characters and you'll be like, oh, that's a character from such and such. it's a fantastic way to get introduced to the series and the lore and the mythology of it all. Highly recommend it. Highly.
Yes, check out the books, people. Hey, speaking of May, Resident Evil Village is coming out. Capcom came out. And I can't believe they acknowledged this, but it came out yesterday, and you guys know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah,
The tall lady, we'll call her that. She's got an actual name. It's Lady Dimitrescu.
Yeah.
I hope I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
And I hope I didn't butcher that pronunciation there, but they came out and said, hey, you know what? We're excited to see the fanfare about this. We're glad for the reception. And guess what? She's 9'6" with the hat on. And,
and heels. Don't forget the heels.
And the heels. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what on earth is going on? I'm not going to ridicule anybody for simping over this, but just what an incredible time we live in. This is just incredible.
I do think it was really, there was something wholesome about them coming out and saying thank you for liking our thing, because you know what gamers are like. Like, I was going to say us. I'm not talking about us, but gamers in general, they can latch on to the tiniest of thing and just tear something apart. And just like, I mean, not even just, you know, gamers, but like the whole like online culture at the minute. Look at the Bernie meme. You know, it was just one little thing, and they completely went for it
everywhere.
We've got nothing else to do.
But this was kind of something similar, except it was done in a very, very positive manner. And I think I'm sure Capcom were just like, you know what, this is great. This is free advertising for a start. You know, everyone's hearing about our game through this. Yeah, it's good fun.
So did you guys play through the Resident Evil 8 Village demo yet?
Are you having a laugh, Tony?
Because it's only on PS5. But,
yeah, I was just about to say, send me your PlayStation 5. I'd gladly play it.
No, it's gosh, it will. I think they are coming to the other consoles here soon as well as PC. But I played through it. I won't spoil anything, but it's a really, really short demo showcase, if you want to call it that. And if you loved Resident Evil 7, you're going to love this because it is right in line with it. If you didn't like Resident Evil 7, you're fucked because this is right up that alley. And I loved it. I thought the demo is great. It didn't give too much away. It may not even be related to the story at all. You know, based on the Resident Evil 7 demo, we know it was the same way. You know, where you got to go in there and see the house, but it didn't spoil anything or set up a story or anything like that. But it was great. It was a good introduction. And I thought the audio they did on this was spectacular. Graphics, you know, you expect it to be great. It's
phenomenal. Evil. Looked phenomenal. Really.
Yeah. It really is. And again, just the audio on this, I can't stress enough, was amazing. Tried it on headphones, tried it on the TV speakers, the newer Sony Bravia series, and it just stood out so much each time. And audio usually doesn't stand out to me a ton in games, but this one did. So props to Capcom. Can't wait to play Resident Evil 8. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Also can't wait for it. Like, again, a series that I really love, and especially Resident Evil 7. Played this to bits, played it like forever. So I'm really dying to get something that is like the last Resident Evil game, the last mainline game. And thank God that Capcom learned from the mistakes that they made in Resident Evil 6.
yes, absolutely. Gosh, do you guys think we'll get a Lady Dimitrescu again? Sorry if I'm butchering that name, but do you think we'll get, you know, something to further quench the thirst of our brethren out there who are just like, you know, man, I can't get enough of this. The memes are one thing, but I mean, it's going so far now. I wouldn't be surprised if we got figurines, action figures, posters.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised. Seriously, come on, this is like the best advertising that they could ask for.
Incredible. What more can you ask for? Gosh, and not to bring the house down too, but you know, we understand too. I already forgot her name, and not to be disrespectful or anything, but the lady that plays the three witches, the voice actor, I guess, had passed away for Capcom recently.
Yeah,
sucks. That sucks so hard. Oh my gosh. But that's a shame. She won't get to see the game come out, and you know, sure to just make it that much more bittersweet when it comes out to see those characters and how they all turned out, because just that little glimpse we got so far from trailers in the demo was fantastic. So
like I'm really curious how this pulls into the Resident Evil lore with the Umbrella Corporation. I mean, Chris Redfield is in the game. I really want to see what relation there is to everything it was before. Like Resident Evil 7 had very, very slight relations to all the games beforehand. So
yeah, be interesting to see where they plug in Ethan in the gang.
Yeah.
What else is out there, gentlemen?
What else is out there? Oh, Dying Light 2. Remember this one? was announced like 5,000 years ago.
Yep,
The
that
last-
and Dead Island too, both of them. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, Dead Island has been in production limbo ever since. Every once in a while, there's some little news update from the publisher. Oh yeah, it's still in development. But
yeah, we've given up. We've given up. It's not coming.
Yeah, but Dying Light, I mean, it's really been radio silent ever since they said, yeah, we're gonna postpone the game indefinitely, but we're still gonna develop it. But over the last couple of weeks, a couple of hints emerged about this game. I think it was on Amazon. I'm not too sure. I don't have the link directly here right now, but the collector's edition leaked in some online store and was taken offline immediately afterwards. And the developer, it's Techland, they said there will be news updates for Dying Light 2 soon. So, yeah, what do you guys think of that?
I can't wait. I don't know about you guys, but I loved Dying Light, and I'm just one of those that just can't get enough of zombie games as it is. And I know a lot of people say it's just beat to death. It's an oversaturated market. But man, that is just an area of games I love, and movies too, for that matter. So anything zombie related, I just my thirst cannot be quenched there. So I'm excited about this. Loved the first one. Great game. If you haven't played it, get a chance to go out there and get that parkour action on in the dark. But what about you, Alex? What about you, Wayne?
This game is banned in Germany. I never played it.
What?
Yeah,
oh my
it is
gosh.
banned. Well,
Sam.
Yeah, so I don't know anything about it.
I think I actually might pick up Dying Light at some stage because, as I say, me and Clara play a lot of co-op games, and there's a few that we just don't want to play right now, quite frankly. So I think Dying Light's something that we should pick up. One of the things I was going to touch on, you were saying about zombie games being like, oversaturated and stuff. The one thing I will say about zombie games is, despite the fact they're all zombie games, they all bring something unique to the table.
Yeah,
I mean, Left 4 Dead isn't like Days Gone, which isn't like Dying Light, which isn't like Dead Rising. It's almost like there's sort of some gentleman's agreement that, if you're going to do a zombie game, you have to do something fresh or something different with it. I think it's a cool genre to be into because there's so much variety, despite them all being zombie games.
I mean, even Capcom has like 2 different franchises, zombie games, but they're totally different. I mean, just compare Resident Evil to Dead Rising.
Yeah,
there's nothing to compare.
Is Resident Evil still a zombie franchise? I think
if you think about Resident Evil 2 or 3 remake, yeah, kind of.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 50-50 on that.
Yeah,
definitely. There's a debate to be had there.
My goodness.
Did you guys hear about the Zelda TV show that Netflix were meant to be doing?
Oh yeah, I just saw this like right before we started recording.
Yes.
I thought this was really funny. Apparently, Nintendo sat down with Netflix and they agreed that they were going to do a Zelda TV series, and this was potentially going to be the start of a collaboration between Netflix and Nintendo, and they were going to do a load of TV series. The first one they were doing was Zelda, as I said, and they described it as a Game of Thrones for all the family. But someone at Netflix apparently not even like leaked it onto the internet or something, just said to someone, it just word of mouth that Nintendo's going to do a Zelda series. And Nintendo came straight back to Netflix, stormed in the doors and said, nope, we're done, we're out, we're not doing it. Just like it's not happening. And they just immediately pulled out off the back of it. And it's like, I don't know if you guys have followed a lot of like Nintendo stuff, but they're infamous for like cease and desist letters. If you've got like a Nintendo level in Minecraft, you're going to get pulled down straight away. And this is almost like Nintendo have done a cease and desist on themselves. It's like, no, this isn't happening. We're not doing this.
No, you cannot play this emulated version of Donkey Kong for the ColecoVision. No way.
This is the equivalent of 2 different departments within Nintendo just being like, what the hell are you doing? I don't understand it at all. But you almost have to see somebody go that route with a big partner like Netflix now, because you have Sony, they're pushing The Last of Us into HBO now, right? You're going to see a lot of other series coming out too with HBO, we've heard. So it's good to see Netflix stepping up that, but who knows if that'll be a full-blown partnership with a Microsoft and Nintendo. I feel like all 3 of the brands have to get out there now and at least try to push that envelope a little bit, right? Because if you don't, Sony's just going to own that entire market too before it even gets started. So it's a weird spot to be in. You kind of,
there's this Halo TV series in production for like an eternity, but they're actually filming. They have like the cast and everything, so this might come out at some point. Please be good, please.
I'm iffy about it, but yeah, I mean, until we get more details in a trailer or something, my hope is waning, and that's no pun to you, Wayne.
Ooh.
I think, see, honestly, see, when it comes to like TV shows and movies based on games, I mean, I've no desire, I've no thirst for them. I think we've just been burnt that many times that I'm kind of like, you know what? But BioShock is a great game, and it doesn't need to be a TV show or a movie. And Mass Effect doesn't need to be a TV show or a movie. You know, they're successful in their own right. We don't necessarily have to, you know, push them into this other medium. And that's coming from the guy that's saying that, like, you know, you must read the books. But sometimes it's fine for a game to just be a game and stay being a game, because that's its strength. I mean, we just talked about, you know, Zelda, a potential Zelda Netflix show there. I mean, Zelda is not known for its, you know, deep characters, you know, characterization. The games don't exactly have complicated story arcs. It's usually just, you know, there's a big bad, go save the princess. So how does that even get interpreted into a 10-episode TV show, you know?
Easy. They're gonna pull from the Zelda TV series that was around in the like early 90s, late 80s.
Oh wow.
Excuse me, princess.
Yeah, that's, oh my gosh, that's going deep there. Jeez.
Oh yeah, like Link was a complete dick in this.
Hey, Valve has come out, and Lord Gabe Newell has come out, and that's right, and said to us that there are some games in development again at Valve. How about that? We don't know what they are. We don't know if they end with a 3. We don't know what they start with or anything like that. But holy shit, we're getting more Valve. That's always a good thing to hear.
So Half-Life 3 confirmed.
Nah, it's gonna be because Gabe can count until 2-3, so it's probably gonna be more like Half-Life Alyx Episode 2.
yeah. Honestly, that wouldn't shock me, or you know, just a new IP. God, that would I can't live through that disappointment. But I'm stoked about the potential for this to be, you know, maybe a Half-Life 3, a Left 4 Dead 3, a Portal 3, so many other things, Team Fortress 3, whatever. They can do so much.
I'm just excited that they're doing single player games again. I mean, they shied away from making games for such a long time. I mean, let's face it, Steam is like, it runs itself. They don't need to do much. But they have been so good at making single player games. Just Half-Life, the first 2 Half-Life games, or even Episode 1 and 2 from Half-Life 2, Portal, probably some of the best games that ever came out. And then they just stopped.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah, it's weird. They've been running their own, you know, the Steam market, obviously on PC, which is huge. They probably make enough of a killing off that where they don't really need to worry about, you know, making games. They also tried the Steam Machine hardware, the Steam controllers. You know, they've ventured off so many different directions in the last 5 years, and none of it's really taken off super hard. So it's good to see them say, you know, hey, maybe the games are what works for us. Let's go out and do something.
You see, if they're not gonna use those franchises, because they're some of the strongest franchises in gaming history, the likes of Half-Life, Portal, arguably Team Fortress, they're just sitting on them and letting them stagnate. Like, if they're not gonna make a Half-Life 3, if they're not gonna make a Portal 3, sell those IPs. You know, how good would a Half-Life 3 look by Naughty Dog? You know?
Yeah.
We could have something absolutely incredible. Give gamers what they want. Give Valve the money that they want, and
it's a win-win,
and move on. You know,
or you know what, Half-Life 3 from Machine Games, that would be sick.
Yeah.
There's potential there. Yeah.
I will break my pre-order rule if Valve ever does a 3 of anything they have put out in the past. Anything, I will break my pre-order rule. I'll fucking go all in on the collector's edition. I'll go that deep. It's got to be done. You know, so you were talking, Wayne, about other studios and stuff. Left 4 Dead 3, is it even possible to get that at this point from Valve, knowing that Back 4 Blood is coming out this summer?
To me, Back 4 Blood is Left 4 Dead 3, you know?
Right. So
a rose by any other name, you know?
So I'd be curious then. I mean, what are those other studios doing that? Or I guess, you know, it all falls under Valve, but what are those other core groups of people doing? Developers, etc., that worked on Portal, worked on Half-Life, worked on Team Fortress, those that didn't convert over to Turtle Rock that were helping with Left 4 Dead. I mean,
Yeah,
I-
a lot of people actually moved on. I remember the main story writer. I don't know what his like job description was. He left Valve like ages ago, and he leaked the story for Half-Life 3 himself online. Just switch out the name so he couldn't be sued
good
at
man.
all. Um, and I think a lot of people actually left Valve because Valve hasn't been a developer really in the last
yeah.
15 years
So,
or
so
so.
that if they are making new games, they're probably going to have to start recruiting again. And if
Yeah.
they're recruiting again and people have left, then this team, despite it being Valve by name, we are not getting a game by the people that made Half-Life 2 episodes 1 and 2. We're not getting a game by a team that made Portal 1 and Portal 2. These are essentially new teams with the same brand slapped on
Yeah.
it. So arguably, should we set our expectations? I don't get me wrong. I'm trying to keep a level head and take a rational approach to this. But we all know it. As soon as you see the logo for Half-Life 3,
Pre-order.
I still won't pre-order because there is no benefit. Buy it on day one. It's going to be the same price. You haven't lost anything.
You watch, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to
but-
convince Wayne to pre-order Half-Life 3 if it gets announced. That's the running bet.
But I do think we have to approach this with a level head and say that expectations have to be tempered a little bit. We can't do another cyberpunk to ourselves. We can't cyberpunk ourselves.
Oh,
Getting poetic here.
Speaking of rough times, how about Google Stadia? They just, I think it was yesterday or the day before, had come out and said they're essentially closing down all their first-party studios, including Jade Raymond. And if I remember right, she was the one that was over at Ubisoft for a long time, Ubisoft Montreal.
Exactly.
She was the one that announced, I think it was the first Assassin's Creed ever, too.
She's the co-creator of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
She had some like short stint in it at EA, then moved over to Google to lead like one of the first-party development studios. And I mean, I'm surprised that Stadia is actually still a thing. Not that I would wish them that Stadia is not a success, because it has good ideas. Like this could work,
Right.
but just how they approach their service, it's, I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. I mean, I like physical games. I know a lot of people don't care about them anymore, download their games, and yeah, Stadia has not big success, and I'm still surprised that Google hasn't killed it off yet, because this is what Google does. Something is not successful, they kill it off as soon as they can.
I was just about to say that it's another grave in the Google graveyard.
Yeah,
they didn't go all in on this. They didn't push it like in terms of the business strategy. The pricing model was all wrong. It was a mess. It was a joke from day one. People were pointing and laughing at it. And there's so many times people have pointed and laughed at things, and then they've had to accept that they were wrong. but we've been right the whole way along with this, and Google have just accepted. I mean, that is the first nail in the coffin, and the rest of them are going to follow soon. They're basically saying, if we make games for this, it won't make money. But hey, all you other developers, go ahead. You give it a go. We'll leave the servers up, and you can have a crack at it. But we've given up already.
Yeah.
So does this mean they can still, with the first party studios being closed down, does this still mean that while they're not going to develop games, we know that now for Stadia, they can still publish them?
Probably.
Do they change that?
I don't see that happening at all, to be fair. I think they will just license games that are available on different platforms like PlayStation, Xbox, PC, or whatever, and just release on their platform. But I don't see them going ahead and say okay, we license this game for, let's say, I don't know, Bethesda, and this is going to be like a Stadia exclusive. Not see this happening.
Speaking of exclusives, that's one thing I think that would have made the Stadia succeed, is if they were as aggressive in their modeling and structure as Epic is on the PC. That storefront where you see them giving away AAA free titles all the goddamn time. And, it's worked for them. I'm still not the biggest fan of Epic. I use it. I use that. I use Steam. Both love them both equally. But, man, I think Stadia would have succeeded had it not been for that. But two, I think it's just too early for cloud streaming games. It's tough. I'm a download guy all the way. I don't do physical copies that much anymore. But I just latency issues and those tiny little details seem to go a long way with me early on. They probably ironed a lot of that out here lately, but I wasn't around to see it.
Yeah, and I think this is just something that again Microsoft does really good because they have their own streaming service. But it's not just only streaming. It's like you have an Xbox, you have your games, you pay for a Game Pass Ultimate. Okay, you're gonna have the game streaming on top for free. So that's how I could see this going and like really growing in the future, but not as a sole service from like one company, in this case Google.
Yeah, but it's another massive downfall of Stadia, the fact that you have to go all in.
Yeah,
you know, it's Stadia or nothing. Whereas, as you say, Xbox, you've got choice. It's all about choice, giving gamers choice and letting them have a go at cloud gaming, and then maybe they'll embrace it, or maybe we won't. But the options there, you know, and that is such a strength for Xbox to have at the minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep. God of War just got patched up again. But this time it's coming in with the 60 FPS and 4K update from Sony, which I know we're going to see a lot more of those here in the future for other games like that, The Last of Us 2. But I'm just now getting my first real taste, I think, on this platform. I've already beat the Spider-Mans, the Demon Souls. Sorry, I didn't beat Demon Souls. I'm just going to suffer through it. And yeah, I'm just going to accept that I'm never going to beat it because I suck. But I'm finally getting my first taste of a PS4 game on the PS5 that's been like revamped with these little updates with the extra frames and the 4K update, and that's coming from Days Gone, and I'm about 8 hours in, and it makes a huge difference. It doesn't stand out to me a lot or shock me as much because I play that way on PC anyway with the 4K 120 frames. But to see it on a big TV coming from a home console, it's a cool thing to see, and I feel like it's made such a difference in that game from when I first tried it out 2 years ago to now. Now I'm actually going to play this whole damn thing through.
Oh, you haven't finished it yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
You're missing out. You're really missing out.
Not for long.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out on my place. Wait, no.
Oh, can you even find a PlayStation anywhere now? Right now, like
not at the moment.
So you guys are over there in Euroland. Is it showing up anywhere yet, or is it still completely out? Because here in the US, you're fucked.
About 5 or 6 different retailers got batches in, and they released them all over the course of about 2 or 3 days, and they went like that.
Gone.
Within seconds.
There was actually one of the retailers where the bots were able to get into the system and buy all the stock before they'd even put them on sale.
Wow.
It is insane.
We gotta use the power of Reddit to fight the bots. That's what we need.
Yeah.
If we can take down Wall Street, we can get PlayStations.
we can fight the bots. We can fight the bots. My goodness.
I made my peace with not getting a PlayStation until maybe the end of the year. But damn, I really want to play Demon's Souls and finish it before you.
I think I've already said this. It feels like the consoles haven't launched.
Yeah.
It feels like there was an early access where they sent out 1 million consoles, but all the plebs will get them later on down the line.
Right. Yeah. In Microsoft, they came out actually this week already and said like, hey, just a heads up, sorry in advance, but we're going to be seeing this shortage, at least for us, until maybe August.
Yeah.
And oh my God, that's hard to imagine. If I'm a fan right now, and I'm fortunate that I got both, but man, if I'm a huge fan of either of those consoles right now and I just can't get my paws on it and I see that news, what do you do?
No. But there's actually a reason behind that, and for both consoles, chips are being made by AMD, and they have some production issues right now because of COVID, and this is what is causing the shortage. A lot of people were thinking, this is like artificially manufactured, like Nintendo likes to do it, that they just don't produce anymore, but they could.
Artificial supply. Yep.
Yeah, artificial supply. Thank you for correcting my terrible English.
see the artificial scarcity. I've seen that before. Specifically, I think it was the original Xbox they'd done it with, and I think they'd done it with the GameCube, right? And they send out so many supplies, and then they let it sell out so that everyone can go, oh, it's sold out, you can't get one. At that stage, they send more, so that they can sell more,
drives interest and demand.
Every now and again, there's a little, you can't get one, but then maybe a few days later, you actually can. And there's a constant stream of these consoles, so that they're constantly selling consoles, but there's constantly word on the street that you can't get one. Whereas this is nothing like that situation. It's not even close. They're like hen's teeth. They're so hard to get. And that is not artificial scarcity. Anyone that believes that is just a balloon and that they don't understand, business in any shape or form
Yeah.
whatsoever.
And I mean, what also like helps the scalpers a lot is the console itself is not available in retail shops anywhere. It's just being, at least in Europe or in Germany, it's just being sold completely online, not
Mhm.
in retail stores whatsoever. So, and here's the thing: I think in Japan it was this last week they put the
Yep.
PlayStation 5 for the first time in a retail store, and complete chaos broke loose there.
Yeah.
They had like 300 consoles, and the people were really fighting over the console.
It looked like an American Black Friday, like where people are just beating the shit out of each other for a TV at Walmart. Or that's awesome.
The
That's my
craziest thing,
DualSense.
the craziest thing about that is Japanese culture is so like their manners are 10 times of any other country. You know, they're
Oh, absolutely.
super polite, super calm. Like I seen someone in Japan getting told off for being on their phone, and they got told off kind of like, excuse me, please, could you get off your phone? I mean, they're so delicate. They don't like confrontation.
Mhm.
But you put a PlayStation 5 and console in front of them, and there's a
I think
riot,
that's
you know?
anywhere right now. I mean, man, if you
Yeah,
put that
yeah.
out there anywhere at this point in time, it's on like Donkey Kong. It's
Yeah.
it's the only way to get one is to fight for it, you know?
So I think there was rumors that there was PlayStation 5s in the Capitol building. I think that's what actually happened that day.
That's what
Yeah, that makes so much more sense.
That's why someone was there dressed up in a Skyrim costume.
that's what it looked like. My goodness.
It's just cosplay.
Oh man. What else is going on out there? Anything else in the gaming realm? Shoot.
Man, like, oh, maybe a big thing for people in the US. Not so much a big thing in Europe. MLB, MLB the Show. I mean, this is like a Sony exclusive franchise, and the
Yeah.
first Sony Studios game will come to Xbox really soon with this game.
How crazy is that?
That's really crazy.
Yeah, we're pretty hyped about it here. I played a ton of the baseball games back in the day for the show, MLB the Show. And it's just it's nice to see this coming over Xbox's direction. I've only ever known playing this series on PlayStations to way back in the day. So that'll be nice to see that, and hopefully opens the door for future Sony games making their way over there to Xbox.
What I stumbled upon this like earlier today was a tweet that they put out like 2 years ago. We're only ever gonna be Sony exclusive. Well, that didn't age well.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Oh man.
Well, I guess we could take a moment to address the fine people listening to this show. Gosh, I mean, we're about to break that 1,000 subscriber-ish mark. So, thank all of you that tune in and listen to the show. We've got listeners now in about 30 countries, which is just insane to see. If you've listened to this conversation, you're tuning in from the U.S., South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Australia. I don't know if we got any listeners down there in Antarctica, but goddamn, just glad to have you. Thanks for being on here. We appreciate you listening, subscribing, staying tuned, leaving your reviews, interacting with us on Facebook. I know we went like mini viral a couple of weeks ago with that Resident Evil episode. So I thought we were like fucking IGN there for a minute, right? Like 400 likes or something. Come on. It was just a great thing to see. And just no matter where you're at, thank you for your support. We couldn't do it without you, and you guys are the reason we do this. So thank you so much, and just hope you enjoyed this episode. But gentlemen, any last words here before we take it home?
Silence.
Finish up
Awkward
Assassin's Creed,
silence.
Wayne.
Yeah, hurry up, Wayne. Jesus Christ. Next time we get on the show, you better not be playing Assassin's Creed. I hope you're done with it by then. And that's fair point.
by the time I'm done with it, the DLC will be out, and then I'll be back into it again. So.
Man, never ending. That's how they keep you hooked.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome. Well, if you guys enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a review. You can follow us on social media as well over there at facebook.com/GameSavers channel. We'll have an Instagram and a Twitter up here really soon. Again, you can find our website now on gamesavers.podbean.com. That's our host. So thank you, Podbean, for hosting this. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts as well. You know that if you're listening. But hey, if you want to go out there and grab a friend and say, hey, dude, you got to check out this show. It's great. Go out there and tell them we're on Apple, tell them we're on Spotify, tell them we're on Google Podcasts, tell them they can find us on their Alexa if they want to. We're everywhere. So again, feel free to find us out there. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and don't forget to save your game.